That which gets measured gets managed. That's why this plugin, if you know how to use it right, can literally change your life. If you want to start any kind of new habit, you want to write every day, if you want to go walking every day, if you want to make sure that on every Tuesday you call your parents, any kind of thing that you want to keep track of, this is the plugin for you. Usually I like to focus on the most simple parts of Obsidian because those are the ones that I can wrap my head around. This one is going to need a little extra thinking and thinking ahead, but it all comes together in an incredibly powerful way, and to me, it is absolutely worth the effort. So if you haven't seen my video about daily notes or the daily journal and all the plugins and how to use that, you'll want to watch that for sure. And also, if you aren't familiar with dataview, go watch that video too, because that will give you a good insight into how to think about what this plugin does. It's not that difficult. In fact, if I figured it out, you can figure it out. And for the most part, I copied scripts that I found, pasted them into my daily notes, and then tweaked the parameters until I could figure it out. And to that end, I want to show you what that looks like, and let's jump over to the screen share. For this, we are back into my YouTube demo vault. This isn't the vault I use for my everyday life, but I do use this plugin every day, all day, when I use Obsidian. And I want to show you a couple different ways that I've used it so that you can kind of see different examples of ways that you might make use of this. So in order to get the most out of this, I strongly recommend that you do this on a daily cadence. Every day, you're tracking the stuff that you want to keep track of. Now, to do this, we are going to install the proper plugin, which we go down to Settings, Community Plugins, go to Installed, and I don't have it. So I will go to Browse and put in Tracker, and it's the one by Pyrochlor is the one that I've been using. It was last updated 2 years ago, so I don't know how long this will survive. So hopefully it stays workable for the foreseeable future. Here you can see different ways that you can represent your data and to visualize what you're tracking. And this kind of day of the month view is the one that I use the most, and line graph is the other one. So all you got to do is install and enable, and then the options, there aren't that many options, but the ones that are available here are ultra important. So the default folder location for Tracker, well, I want to track stuff that I do every day, so it makes sense that the default folder that it will look for is in the daily notes. So let's put in folder path, daily notes, and I think that should do it. And then the default date format, I like the year, month, day, because when you are sorting by alphabet or by date, and you can do ascending or descending, the days will click through, then the month clicks up, and then the year clicks up, so that it's easier to sort your information and files and all that kind of stuff. You can try it other ways, but I strongly suggest that you use this year, month, day format. And I used to tack on what day of the week it was, like MON or 2UE or WED for Wednesday, and those letters at the end totally messes with the ability to sort your information properly. So I got rid of that because it completely messed up everything. So year, month, day is the best way that I like to use this. So imagine you are going to have a daily note, which if you haven't seen that, I will link to that video here, where you can click on the day of the month, and then it says, okay, it doesn't exist. Would you like to create it? And notice that it's the year, month, day, just like the tracker plugin is expecting. So it's really good to have all of your dates and templates and presets all agreeing for what kind of information it's looking for. Because if I had it day, month, year on the daily note, but month or year, month, day on the tracker, they're not going to be talking the same language, and then it won't work. So make sure that your date formats are all the same across all plugins, and that will save you so many headaches that I've experienced myself. Okay. So say, for example, I want to start a creative writing practice or a habit. So then I would write some stuff here. Okay, I did my creative writing. Well, instead of having to make a checkbox every day, and then did I do creative writing, do that, and then check it off. Instead, what I want to do is to go to the properties of the file. And if you haven't seen that video, then I'll link to that one as well. So we're going to add a property to the front end, which is creative writing. And the kind of information we want is a checkbox. Did we do this or not? It's a very simple yes or no kind of situation. So in this case, we would say, yes, I did it. So that creative writing habit is complete for today. So then we can go back to the calendar, and then maybe we started on Thursday and we want to look at the property and creative writing, and yes. Okay, so we can add this by hand every time, or if you're familiar with templates, go to the daily note template and then add the property to the daily note template, and voila. Now, when I add a new day, this creative writing will be added as a property. So we've got this for last Thursday. Maybe we didn't do it Friday. Maybe we did do it on Saturday. So we check that box as well. So you can see we did it Thursday, Saturday, Monday, the day that I'm recording this. So now we've got the information in our daily notes. Now we're going to use Tracker to figure this out. And to that end, let's look at some of the examples, because this repository will be a useful resource for you to see what kind of things you can do, how to set up your search parameters, and all that kind of stuff. So let's jump over to the browser. Now, at first, this made no sense to me. I'm not a coder. I don't really know how to get around GitHub. So hopefully this will help you navigate this. So here are all the files, and the readme.markdown is usually what you want to look at, which is automatically included here on the front end. And you can see these are the different types of ways that you can present your information. You can do a pie chart, you can do bar graphs, you can do line charts, you can do daily notes and connected streaks. And like I said, this is the one, and line charts are the others that I use the most. So when they make updates, those all go here. So how do you want to install it? Well, we've already gone over that. And then I like to click on examples, because I can see, okay, here is kind of a way to understand what it's looking for. Now, you can have it look for your front matter, your YAML, your properties. And since we put the creative writing element in the properties, we're going to be looking for a front matter. It's not a tag, but you can see there are tags and data value field or whatever DB field means. And you can have it search the content of your file. And so if you are tracking your weight or you're tracking your workout, you can look for this tag, hashtag weight with the colon, and then the number would be the value that it's looking for. So tracker will be looking for this tag along with the colon with the value that it is expecting. So you can see that there's all sorts of different kinds of ways that you can do this. And your front matter, you can keep track of your blood pressure, and then it's 184 over 118.8. And all of these will look different based on how you set it up. So through here, there's going to be some kind of example that will fit what you're looking for, like a blood pressure tracker. And this is the code that it's looking for that you're going to put into your note, which is why I didn't use this plugin for the longest time, because I thought there's no way I'm going to be able to figure this out. So I'm just going to leave it alone. And that was sad, because you can figure this out. Like I said, if I figured it out, you can figure it out. So let's go back to the installation of the Vault, and I'll put in an example straight from my own personal setup. Okay, and we will close this out and close that out, and then we'll open a new thing, because basically a lot like dataview, tracker is going to pull the information in from your notes and then show it to you. So this isn't going to change your information. This isn't going to change your database. It's a way to show you what you've already got somewhere. And to do that, you need to put this into a file. So we'll create a new one and say it's the creative writing tracker. And for me personally, the daily habit that I'm tracking the most often is Mandarin. So this is the straight up, this is the way that I track Mandarin in my own Vault, because I have my daily notes set up as a captain's log filed by days. But here in this example note or Vault, it's daily notes. So we'll say daily notes here, and data set name. So instead of Mandarin, it'll be creative writing. And then the way that I've got it to work, I'm not saying that this is the right way to do it, but it's searching the text of the file, and the front matter will have the element, and then if it's true or false. So here we want to put in creative writing and true. So let's see what that looks like. Okay. So there we go. This is what it looks like. And as we have over here, the 19th, 21, and 23 were the days where we did this. So these are the days where it checks, yes, creative writing is true on these days. So we're going to show you that. Now we can go back into the script to kind of tweak it and change it to make it look the way that we want it to look, but we can see that it's already working here the way that we expect it to. So to break it down a little bit, the fit panel width equals true means that it will scale to the width of the viewing window that you've got. And I really like doing that, because if you set a particular pixel width, like 300 pixels, and then you move it somewhere else that's going to be more handy for you, it might need to shrink, but then it'll have to scroll sideways. That's a whole headache. So fit panel width equals true is absolutely very, very handy. And then the month view, like I want this to be broken down by the month, and I want the week to start on Sunday. And data set threshold 0, I don't even remember what those are. And the color, we can do blue for that. And you can see that the year and the day indicator and this underline is blue. So that's what this main color is going to be. Then the header month color, you can set orange or white if you've got a dark theme. And now the month is white, but I like keeping it kind of like a yellow, or let's try gold. Let's see if gold works. Yeah, there we go. So whatever colors you like, you can tweak that here. You could also put it in the hex code, but as you can see, it recognizes just very straight up red, blue, green, those kinds of things. And then dim not in month. So for these days, say the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th of November, I want it dim because it's not the month that I'm currently looking at. Or if I look back at September, I want those dates to be dimmed out. And then the today ring color equals white. You could put that as green or whatever. And what that does is it changes the ring around the current day that you are looking at. So then it's easy to see what day is today, the 23rd. Okay, cool. Easy to find that. So if you want that to be a distinctive color that grabs your eye, that's what you're doing there. And then if you want to click on a day, what color do you want that to be? Let's say purple for the purposes of this. And when I click on a day, it's kind of hard to see it, but you can see that there's a purple ring around each day. So all of these are different assets, different elements that you can change. And this one, init month colon 0M, is the one that took me the longest to figure out that I wanted. And when I did figure that out, it changed my life. So this is the big reveal. This is a big secret, is that if you have to put the initial month equals January, well, then when February rolls around, you would have to come in, copy this script, then you'd have to paste it in, then go here and then change it to February. Then it would show you the new date. And it just drove me nuts. But if you say the initial month is 0 months from now, that's the way to show you the current month that you're looking at. So it will automatically understand, oh, let me just show him the current month. And now this script will always be current. It will always update to the proper month. Now, if you want to represent one month over another, you can do that. But I'm telling you, init month 0M is going to completely change your life if you're doing a monthly tracker like this. Okay, so this is the daily tracker, and that is a great way to keep track of habits. And then the other way that I use this is to just keep track of my weight or my workouts. So let me show you what that line graph looks like. And to do that, we are going to go back into our daily note template and add a property called weigh in, or let's just call it weight. And we want this to be a number, and we want it to be empty at the first. So then we can go back over here and go back to the note that we've got, add this one in for right now. And let's just say today I woke up, I was 190.0 pounds. And then Sunday, we'll say I was 190.5. And then the day before that, well, let's just say, well, on Friday, we'll say it was 190.9. Okay, so now we've got a couple dates with our weight on it, and we've got the creative writing tracker. So let's do a new one called weight tracker. And then I will paste in from my personal vault the script, but you can go back through the examples and poke around, find all the details that work for you. But let's check this out. So we got front matter, weight, and the folder. Again, we'll have to change that to daily notes. And here I do like keeping it month by month so that I can see at a glance, I can scroll through and see how the month works. So the start date would be 23. What month is that? 9, 30, and then end date would be 2031, October 31. Okay, so this is an interesting detail for me, is that I don't like the day to start on the first of the month, because this is weird because you can't see it yet, but if you start on the first of the month, then your today's weight won't be connected to the 2 or 3 days before, so you can't see the trend between months. So I like to include the last 2 or 3 days of the last month for this month, and then end it on the last day of this month, so that there's always a little bit of overlap, and hopefully that will make more sense as we move through. The fit panel width equals true is the same here, and the x-axis, the horizontal, is the date, and then the vertical is my weight that goes up and down. The line color, you can choose your hex code, and let's do false here. Fill gap isn't included by default, and then you might not know why you want it. So let me set this to false so that you can see what it looks like without it, and then understand why you want to set that to true, most likely. And then the y-axis tick interval is 1 pound. The minimum is, I set it to 175, or whatever your goal weight is, or what a good range would be for you. Set that there, and then your top value. So this way, if your values are too big, then your changes are going to be too small. So you want to bring your top and bottom value into the proper range so that your changes are easier to track. And then the x-axis is 1 week intervals. So now if we let that process, now you can see it. So this x-axis every week is showing me, right, this was the 30th, this is the 7 days in October, 14 days in October, 21 days in October, 28, and then the last remaining. So you can see that we weighed in on Thursday. We didn't weigh in on Friday, but then Sunday and Monday, we are connected here. So now, if you weigh in every day, these dates will connect with that trend line. But if you skip a day, then you won't see that trend line connecting them, and then it will be difficult to see, did it go up, did it go down? I don't know. And if you are on I only weigh myself one day, like on Mondays, one day a week, so that it's not something that you're obsessing over, well, then you can go back in here, and then that's what the fill gap is true. And now, no matter how many days between when you enter the number, it will automatically connect the trend so that you can see big picture what is going on. So this way, you can track how your weight goes up or down. And if you are tracking your workouts, you can say deadlift was 300, then 301, 35, whatever. You can see your trend, and then you can make your tracker You can make a different tracker for each workout. You could get as wild and crazy with this as you like. But these are the two trackers that I'm using most often every day, is to keep track of my weight and then to keep track of my daily habits. And I want to make sure that every single one of these days is enabled. Now, a couple things that you might like to know about is that if you make a change to your daily note, it doesn't automatically update in Tracker. Let me show you what that means. So on the 20th, we've got in the creative writing, let's say on the 20th, we did do creative writing, and you can see here that, well, what's the deal? I did it, but I don't see it. So you'd have to go into the script and then out of the script, and that's when it does its little math to figure out, oh, it was there, and then it will show you and update that it's there. So that's one detail. And then another cool detail is, all right, I want this to be something that I see every day, all day long, so that I don't fall off the wagon for this habit, say the creative writing here. So here's how I do it. You've got it open in your main view, but click and drag the tab over to the sidebar and move it to the bottom, and voila, you now have your tracker visible in the sidebar all day long. So as you're going about your day, putting in your details and taking your notes and everything, it's always in the corner for you so that you can always see it. And that's just programming your non-conscious mind to always pay attention and to never have these gap days like we do on the 22nd. So we can do that, go in here, and hey, look at that. Now we've got an unbroken chain from Thursday of last week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to today. And now that unbroken chain, if I'm not feeling it, and I was like, I don't want to do my creative writing for the day, but I'm looking over here and I see this chain and I know for sure I don't want to break this chain because I've done it every day up until today. So yeah, I might as well go ahead and do this. And what's neat is you can do that with more than one tracker. So you can pin that here. So now your line graph will be over here, and then you can click there and you can go back and forth. So I've got my daily note navigator calendar up here, and then I've got my trackers set up over here in the sidebar. And I usually have it for my daily habit, and then I can check over and see how this week's weight trend is doing so that I can know for sure if it's trending upwards or downwards instead of just feeling something, which again is the value of measuring versus feeling through your habits. So there you go. That is the quick introduction. And now back to the main camera. And now you can see why that is such a powerful plugin. And as Jerry Seinfeld says, that you don't want any 0 days. You don't want any days between this chain of practice. So if you want to do writing every day, you start on Sunday, and then every day of the week for every month of the year, for every year moving forward, you just make that part of your day. So you want to make sure that you check that off so that when you're looking at it in your tracker, you're seeing a full month worth of habit. And that's how, if you embrace this plugin and this approach of combining daily notes with dataview and tracker, it all comes together so that you can see your habits in a way that you won't be able to visualize if it's just in your daily notes or in a journal or somewhere else. So that's a kind of a quick introduction to how you can track things on a line graph or things that did I do this today. Those are the two ways that I use it most commonly, and it has been responsible for me making some of the best biggest, most amazing changes in my life, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. If you have any other questions about what Obsidian can do or how to use it, hit me up in the comments. I want to hear what you need to find out about Obsidian so that you can use it to change your life too. If you like this kind of stuff, then I highly suggest that you subscribe to the channel. And if you're not ready for that kind of commitment, but you still want to show your appreciation, then give it a like and watch this next video. As I always like to say, remember, if you can change your mind, you can change your life.